Hello everyone, this is Nate, and in this video I want to give folks an overview of the UI within the Laterpress editor so you understand what all of the buttons do and how to get around and access various functions. I'm not going to go deep dive into all of the features. There may be separate tutorials for that. This is meant to help folks get started and acclimate themselves. So right now we are in a story. And up here, the home button, clicking that will take you to the front page of your account where you can see all of the stories in your account. So you can see what I've got here on this demo account. And clicking on the title of the book or the edit draft button will bring somebody back in here. Up here is the table of contents for the book. This will allow you to quickly zoom through different chapters of the book or different plot beats if you are using the plotting tools to get to a specific spot of the story to quickly and easily get to working on things. What you are looking at here, this is a beat card. These are the highest level of plot organization if using the plot tool. They dictate a high-level overview of what's going to happen for that specific section of the story. Within a chapter here, this is a scene card. This is a more small chapter-level review of what is going to go on in a specific chapter. Again, these only appear if you are using the plotting tools. And then, of course, you've got the actual text of a chapter here. If you do not wish to use the plotting tools, then you can streamline your view in the editor by clicking the three dots up here and clicking Hide Outline. When Hide Outline is clicked, you will see that the scene card disappeared, the beat card disappeared, and all you have is the text editor itself. To make it a little bit cleaner and simpler visual experience if you are not using those options. You'll also note with Hide Outline enabled, all of the beats and scene cards are hidden from the table of contents as well to make it quicker to zoom around. And for now, I will leave the outline hidden to continue to make the UI a little simpler to navigate for us. Here, the up and down arrow. This is used for rearranging chapters in a story. So if you need to swap out chapters, I can click the arrow here and you'll see these lines across the screen. These dictate where we're moving the chapter to. And this is in gray by default, but then when I hover over it, it turns blue. That's gray, it turns blue. The line I click is where the chapter is going to move. So now what was chapter 1 is now chapter 2, and what was chapter 2 is now chapter 1. I just flip-flop those around. Here, the clock icon is the version history. This will show the edits you've made in a chapter over time. It auto-saves periodically. So if you wish to revert to an earlier version of a chapter, that can be done here by just picking one, clicking Restore the prior version. The versions can also be given more specific names up here. This is the time that it's saved, but we could enter a different name for it here to differentiate it in the list, or just leave things alone and back out of there. This icon here is to expand and collapse chapters. So when it is in this orientation, that the arrows pointing at each other, the whole chapter will be visible. With them pointing in opposite directions, the chapter's collapsed, so only the chapter name is visible, which makes it faster to scroll up and down throughout a book if you're using arrow keys or the mouse wheel. But remember, for navigation across a lot of chapters, the table of contents is always going to be the faster way to go. The three dots here on a chapter level lead to additional options. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up here. Let's make this visible first. So publishing chapter would be if you wish to make only that one chapter in a book available online and readable, but not the rest of the book. Then we can click that and go through the publishing process. Export to Word exports a doc file of just the text of this one specific chapter. Delete chapter, pretty straightforward, only removes that one chapter while leaving the rest of the book intact. And add to Wiki. Clicking that will allow you to add notes based on the chapter text. And we can see here it's choosing the current chapter. We could also go in and add additional chapters and what kind of wiki items we want to create. The options are lore cards, scene cards, and character cards. Scene cards are what was visible earlier here above a chapter. That it will create for you new scene cards for plotting purposes based on the existing text. If you already have a finished chapter, you may or may not want to use those, but they help give you basically short summaries of what has happened. The lore cards and the character cards go into the wiki, which we will talk about momentarily. And so once you've chosen what you want, you can click Generate here to create that, and then review the results. The wiki here is composed of a few tabs. You've got the Idea tab. This is a space for a high-level summary of your concept. This could be your initial notes about the story and the setting and the plot, or if you're using the story tools, it could be the AI summary based on your notes of the story. Character cards are your home for character cards, different details on each character, a little bit about their biography, and some physical traits. These can be generated by AI by either clicking the Generate Character button or press here to add a character, and you can manually select protagonist, enter their name, enter all of this information manually. So if you wish to use this to leave notes for yourself about different characters, it can be used for that purpose. Clicking on the edit button here allows for going back in and changing the results. Cards can be duplicated if you want to try modifying them to get different results with the AI, and they can be moved up and down the list. Lore cards are another home for notes about the story. The difference between the wiki and the notes feature that I'll get into next is that anything that is in the wiki can be read as context by the story tools if you are using those, where anything in notes will not feed into the story tools at all. So here for lore, we've got different examples of notes for different concepts in the universe, and these can be generated or click the Add Lore button. And here you can see available options are alien and fantasy races, creatures, cultures and people, history, location, magic, organizations and groups, religion, technology, and other. Over here in settings, this is some basic details about the book. Length is used for anticipated length of the book. Prose style, this feeds into if you are using story tools. Otherwise, if you are not, then this box is not relevant to your needs. There are a few pre-made writing styles, or by selecting custom, someone can either write or copy paste in their own notes about their writing style. And point of view is how you would want the text to default when it's generating, from first person, second person, which is going to be an extremely niche use case, third person limited, or third person omniscient. And we can click save there to keep the results. Up here, this arrow key expands this to full screen. So if you want to really focus in on these details and not look at the text, then maximizing the screen is going to be the way to do that. And clicking the button here again returns this to a side tab. The X will close out whatever sidebar is open and return the full view to the editor. And the settings here, this button is for advanced settings. This will influence what AI model is used, specifically for what is generated within the wiki section. So that could be the idea, the characters, and the lore. Look here for that. Up next, we've got notes. This is a spot for miscellaneous details you want to leave for yourself as a reference that will not appear in the chapter editor text. They do not feed into the story tools for context. It is merely a place to organize other loose thoughts before you want to do anything else with them. The notes are date tagged by when they are made, and they can be sorted here by chronology of when they were made, alphabetically by title, or alphabetically by description. That is based on the first letter of the title or the first letter of the first word in the description. The search box here, if there are a lot of notes, then you can search for a specific term that you want to know more about and see which notes it will appear in. This box allows for the creation of new notes. And then a title can be entered, typing in the note and clicking save when the note is entered. The microphone allows for transcription notes. This feature does require Laterpress AI credits to use. It can be done by clicking the button there. And here a pop-up will confirm what microphone to use, and we're going to allow that. And now here is the recording meter. As we can see, there is some sound bars indicating that it is currently recording my voice. So I will talk just a little bit longer here so that we have a sample size of some text. When you are done dictating the note, clicking the blue button here uploads the text for transcription. Once the audio has been transcribed, the audio file is deleted. It is not stored. Only the text of what was spoken will remain. There is a 10-minute limit on recordings, and the maximum note length is 10,000 characters. So I would not recommend using this to try to dictate entire chapters in one shot. It may work for fragments of a chapter, a few paragraphs here and there if you have something right in the top of your head. But this is meant for notes, not long-form dictation. So I've clicked the button, and now we see the waiting, and you can see just that fast. Here we have the recorded note with the title, and here you can see the text of everything I had said. That looks pretty accurate to me without reading everything aloud again. We'll click Save there. Close out. The Assistant, this tab, is for talking with an AI chatbot. You can use these drop downs to decide what context the AI has access to, and then type a message here to start a conversation, asking different questions like if you have forgotten the color of a character's eyes. If it's in the book, you could ask the question. The AI will hunt down where in the book you had that answer and what the answer was. Could be asking it questions about the strengths and weaknesses of the plot and what might need revision. So this is a go-to source for those kind of questions if you want to brainstorm or get feedback. Okay, and so now over here in the other remaining sections of the buttons in the top right corner here. Publish will publish the entire book in one shot. We have a separate video detailing how that works. Clicking Show Outline again will bring back the beat cards and the scene cards, making those visible. Collapse chapters will collapse the entire book at once, similar to what we saw over here for chapters, but for the entire manuscript. And when the manuscript is collapsed, the opposite of that is to expand everything all at once. Here is Select Theme. Selecting theme will allow users to change the font of the text, the line spacing, and the theme. So it would actually be better if we expand the chapters to show the text and select theme and change the font to Tahoma. We can increase the font size and look at gray mode or dark mode. And now the view and the editor experience has changed, as you can see here. And clicking reset will return everything to the system default. By clicking go full page, this will remove the address bar up top, makes it a little bit cleaner, more focused experience for diving into writing and editing text without distractions. Clicking the escape key on the keyboard click the escape key on the keyboard to return to the normal mode. Importing Epub will open a file browser on your computer that allows for uploading a complete manuscript to populate into the editor here to upload an entire book at one shot. Add to Wiki, similar to what we saw for the chapters, allows people to generate content, character cards, lore cards, and all of that from details that are either notes you copy paste in or existing text from the book. And lastly, in settings, settings is the spot to go to upload or change the cover of a book, add or change a book's title. If the book has not been published and you know what the URL you want it to be for when the book is online, that can be entered here. The URL cannot be changed once it has been decided on, so ponder that carefully. Cover, title, genre, all of these other details can be changed after a book has been published. So this would be the home to type in a blurb. I cannot talk and type. I want to point out here that text in the blurb or in the short description can be highlighted, and when highlighted, formatting such as bold, italics, and underlining can be applied to it to bring out specific points of emphasis to the text. Down here is the monetization section. I should note that each of these sections save independently. So here the blue button, the save button is now blue, indicating changes have been made. Clicking that will save here, and now the save button is gray. If I go in here and I add more stuff, the button turns blue again, indicating there are unsaved details, so we can save. Okay, in Access, this is the monetization section. This account does not have a Stripe account set up, but if it did, then we could charge readers. In this button box, we would enter the price, and over here decide if this is a single book purchase or if we're selling chapter bundles, which is primarily used for serial fiction writers. By default, the book is available to anyone. Authors have the ability to set up monthly or annual subscriptions. If those options are chosen or enabled, then an author can choose to make a book available only to people who have an active subscription. And the preview is how much of the book can be read for free before hitting the paywall and being prompted to create an account to keep going. It is possible to make an entire book available for free. It is not required to monetize. In that situation, the price can remain 0%. What the free preview would do then is specify how many chapters somebody can read without having to create an account. And the reason you may want to specify a free preview shorter than the length of the whole book is that when somebody creates an account, their progress is saved by our system. So anytime they log in, they would go to the last chapter that they'd been reading. At that prompt, also will ask readers if they want to subscribe to updates from you, which is helpful as a way to download that information later from the reports so that their email addresses can be added to your newsletter if you're doing newsletter marketing. Custom numbering. This is covered in a separate tutorial about how to set that up to change how chapter heading text displays in a book. If you wish to export the entire book all at once as a doc file, that can be done here. And deleting a book, clicking this, will bring up a pop-up prompting you to enter your password to verify that you wish to delete the book, and then click delete to get rid of the book for good. So that is a high-level overview of the UI in the editor, where all the functions are and what they do. The video will have timestamps to make the different components easy to find, and I hope this helps.